You are Vineeth from Ernakulam.
Yes, sir.
What else you can tell about yourself?
Sir, myself Vineeth Lohidakshan. I'm a medical graduate. I hail from Ernakulam district of Kerala. So I did my graduation from Government Kilpauk Medical College in Chennai. And sir, I was allotted into Indian Revenue Service of Income Tax in my initial attempt last year. And henceforth, I have been on extraordinary leave for the ongoing attempt, sir. And my optional subject is anthropology.
Okay. So you haven't gone to any training in the IRS?
No, sir.
Not yet. Okay.
Not yet.
Okay. You have studied anthropology?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anthropology as a science, how do you evaluate its contribution to the world of knowledge?
Sir, anthropology is actually a very vast subject that we can say that it touches every aspect of human being. So the contributions made by anthropology can also said to be a wide verse, and every field contributions actually entail an aspect of anthropology. Starting from medical science, sir, the understanding of disease causing agents, the various mechanisms that we build about to counter those diseases comes under physical anthropology. And the evolution of human being, right from the caveman up to the modern Homo sapiens, also is an aspect of anthropology. And so there's a socio-cultural anthropology which contributes regarding the cultural development that has happened in terms of civilization, right from the Harappan civilization up to the modern civilization. And so the technological aspects also, like which we are currently up in the era of digital technology, also comes under the digital anthropology. Such wide verse perspectives have been given by anthropology, sir.
Okay. Vineeth, I understand that in anthropology there are some exciting developments.
Yes.
New research,
yes,
which throws new light into human evolution.
Yes.
Can you briefly tell about that?
Sure, sir. So, you are very rightly noted the developments starting from the archaeological anthropology. Right from India, sir, very recently, the Iron Age has dated back to the 4th millennia from the earlier presumed 1st millennia. And the Kiladi expeditions is a very big testimony to the same aspect. And sir, coming up to the Aryan migration debate too, there is a clash between Aryan migration and Aryan invasion. So we have made studies on Y chromosome aspects as well as the R1A haplotypes. This helped us to eliminate the aspect of Aryan invasion, and now we confirmed with Aryan migration. And also the presence of evolution from Neanderthals, the elements like EPAS gene was confirmed recently in the northern Indian perspective. So that homogeneous evolution of man has also been confirmed by anthropologies.
Okay, we will come to something more mundane.
Sure, sir.
See, of late, we hear a lot about Vikasit India.
Yes.
By 2047.
Yes.
Our Honorable Prime Minister has been repeatedly telling it in every forum. So, what is the concept of Vikasit India?
Sir, Vikasit Bharat is actually a very ambitious target that as our country has aspired for ourselves by 2047, which entails 100 years of independence. From almost fully shackled up by a colonial power, we have had the resilience to build ourselves, and in just 100 years, the transformation into a developed aspect in all the perspective like health, skilling, education. So all this has been entailed by the Vikasit Bharat concept. And we have made very much high strides in the same, sir, like the initiatives, like the Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan for education.
In more concrete terms, can you give some targets?
Yes.
To be realized in economics?
Yes.
For achieving this Vikasit Bharat?
Sure, sir. Sir, in terms of economics, it has been much more based on building a resilient economy that is both sustainable as well as contributing to the domestic and international perspectives. So I think the main aspect of Atmanirbharata is the very testimony to the same aspect based on Make in India initiative. Also, we are foreheading the green transformation through our Panchamrit targets and also acting as Vishwa Guru as well as Vishwa Mitra for the entire world by spearheading this transformation from global south, sir.
In terms of our growth rate,
Yes.
current growth rate,
Yes.
where do we stand now?
Sir, if you look up from the pandemic times, India has been doing really good, as emerged as the fastest growing economy with a overall growth rate of over 3%, over 8% for the last 3 years continuously. And we are also very much increased our terms of domestic manufacturing as well as exports. But so there are a few challenges associated to. Very recently, the domestic inflation has been hovering around 5 to 6%, along with high food inflation since our dependence on monsoon.
What is the GDP growth rate in the current year?
Sir, current year, initially forecasted was 7.2%, but due to the recent downtrailing of the rupee and aspect, it has been recasted to 6.6%.
So at this rate of growth, what will be our position in 2047?
Sir, at this present of growth rate, the real growth rate is 6.6% and the nominal growth rate entails up to around 10%. So if we look at, if the same growth rate is continued, we would be in the category of upper middle income economy, sir, rather than the developed economy as speculated.
So this 2047 as a target for Vikasit Bharat,
yes,
do you think it is achievable?
Sir, definitely it is achievable, sir, with the various initiatives taken, though there are few headwinds.
But this rate of growth, if it is a middle income group, that's not the idea, isn't it?
Yes, sir, that is not the idea. And that's why we have taken up with few of the initiatives in the recent budget too. We have changed up the income tax structure so that more money is being given up to the hands of middle class, who makes up the bulk of our the Indian demography, so that the consumption increases, which increases the production and economic activity of our economy. This can further boost the foreign investments also.
You refer to the budget.
Yes.
The economic survey clearly says that one major problem is with the regulatory regime in India.
Yes.
So what exactly the economic survey talk about that?
Sir, as you had rightly pointed out, the regulatory regime is actually over-regulation leads to a decline in the investment-friendly climate. So this has to, that is what being projected by the economic survey also deregulation is the main prospects that is required. I think, sir, that the initial developments are also coming up with various initiatives like the Jan Vishwas Act, which have underlining building trust of common man with the government and departments. So with these initiatives in the long run, I feel optimistic of achieving Vikasit Bharat.
Okay, one last question.
Yes, sir.
See, Kerala of late is in the news for the human-animal conflict.
Yes, sir.
There have been a number of instances of people getting killed by wild elephants and animals.
Yes.
So what exactly is the problem and what should be done to resolve this?
Sir, very rightly, the incidence of human-animal conflict has been very much increased with almost the Wildlife Trust Institute saying there have been 8,000 incidents in 2024 alone. So a few of the reasons that I can note of, one is the decline in forest quality that has happened due to human interventions as well as the increase in external species like Senna spectalis. And second aspect is unsustainable development that is happening, like the construction of roadways in the middle of ecological habitats. And third aspect is a shift in agricultural practices. Sir, there's been increased focus on horticulture, which act as food for the animals. And finally, the increase in dairy sector, which also act as food for the carnivorous animals. And so, to address this issue, a holistic approach is required, starting from community level engagement and capability building, so that local self-governments can be better used up, which we do through the ward councils currently. And second is the use of technology, integration of technology, just like how our Honorable PM had also stated in the Mann Ki Baat address. Artificial intelligence related camera tracking can be used to give surveillance messages to the people. And third, few of the initiatives like the Operation Jumbo Parade, wherein elephants were provided with radio collaring to track their movements. Such sort of initiatives can also be made up, along with structural changes like trenches and fencing are the measures
Would you
forward.
suggest any changes in law in this regard?
Sir, thank you, sir. That is also a very prudent measure forward. We can bring it under the Disaster Management Act because it enables further, because currently it is under Wildlife Protection Act, so that the response is very much delayed in case of any animal hovering into the human habitat. But Disaster Management Act actually enables quick response through the Disaster Management Authority.
What is the definition of a disaster?
Sir, disaster is actually anything that entails a huge loss upon human life or properties that is associated. So why I suggested for the same act was because Kerala government during the last year suggested for the same reform and initiated human-animal conflict to be a state disaster last year to better address.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So Vineeth,
Yes,
just a quick question, just quick clarification.
Yes, sir.
This anthropology
Yes, sir.
and sociology, what is the difference?
Sir, anthropology and sociology can be said to be actually twin sisters because a lot of correlation happens between them. But to tell the differences, one aspect is anthropology is more holistic because it involves the physical concepts, the archaeological concepts, all aspects. But sociology is much more specialized depending on the social and cultural phenomenon. Second aspect is the methodology for data integration. Sociology is much more based on like studies, case study based, while anthropology involves scientific methods like data collection through technological means also. So and
this you are a doctor who trained in Kilpauk Medical College, right?
Yes, sir.
So doctor coming into civil services,
Yes.
Isn't it a loss for the medical community and health of India?
Sir, actually, I would like to contribute much more in a diverse manner that is being facilitated by civil service. And I got this inspired while my service during COVID pandemic, sir, when I realized the diverse potential that civil service holds. So this is how I feel I can be a social doctor through civil service, and that is what I would like to concentrate upon.
Oh, social.
Yes.
Okay, more social. Okay. You've seen the condition in Kilpauk Medical College, right?
Yes.
You've been there for 5 years?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How will you improve? What are the suggestions?
So can I take a moment on this question?
Yeah, absolutely. You can ask me questions also.
Thank you, sir. Sir, few of the problems that I've identified with the hospital structure. First aspect is the OP ticket distribution. So often people have to wait for long hours to get the OP ticket, which themselves, when they are already in a very dilapidated condition, it can exacerbate. So I would like to introduce technological intervention into this to make it more easier. Second aspect is the diagnostic content, because few of the tests are just available a few days a week. So I would like to improve this situation also, so that better repeated travels can be avoided. So third aspect is the limitation in beds. Often during outbreak situations, while I worked, there was outbreak of dengue season, when there is severe lacking of beds. So I would like to improve the bed system in the hospital structure also. So these are few aspects I didn't think about.
Okay. I was talking to a AIMS Patna person. So he is saying even if I diagnose for 48 or 24 hours a day, still there will be people lying in the corridor. Still people will be waiting for me. Like,
yes.
What do you think about that? Is that issue there in Kilpauk Medical College?
Yes, sir. That is actually, on a different note, the casualty actually entails high patient load. And few of the aspects can be better dealt.
Are there enough doctors?
Sir, there are enough doctors, but what happens is that the overloading of work happens due to the working structure. The admission days are actually scheduled in a very frequent manner that can entail much. So, better distribution of work is what I feel is needed in the hospital
So you
structure.
think doctors are enough for Kilpak. What about India? You think number of doctors are enough?
Sir, based on the statistics, we have a patient ratio from the required 1:1,000. We are having 1:834 at present. But the problem is that the allopathic and Ayush system both integrated as the current numbers, and there is a regional skewing that is associated. Much of the doctors are concentrated in the urban setup. This is what I would like to address, sir. So that spread of doctors is something I feel we have to address with. Maybe integration of technology can also be taken care of, sir.
Okay. Okay. You given IFS as your one of the options, right?
Yes, sir.
India Bangladesh relations.
Yes, sir.
What are the issues? What are the main issues? And what do you think the future will be?
Sir, coming to India Bangladesh, the issue actually entails right from the beginning of the liberation of Bangladesh itself, since the dual party leniency is coming into international relations too. India have had a cordial relation with Awami League, while the relations with BNP or Bangladesh Nationalist Party is not on good terms. So that India Out campaign has gained prominence in Bangladesh too. Sir, very recently with the upsurge against Sheikh Hasina and India providing asylum to Sheikh Hasina, this anti-India stance has further increased in actually nature. Sir, and coming to the future, I feel with the policy that India entails, I feel optimistic because we have had our foreign secretary visiting Bangladesh and increased diplomatic dialogues starting up between the intermediate government. So, though there are few challenges in the time being, I feel optimistic of the future. Sir.
So your continuous dialogue is the way to go.
Yes, sir.
Israel-Palestine relations.
Yes. Sir.
What are the future? What do you think can be the future?
Sir, regarding Israel-Palestine, with the ongoing ceasefire and the Trump regime also coming into the being, I feel it can be a temporary passage of the violence that is happening. But for the long-term peace, joint stakeholder mechanism is the right way forward. With proper rehabilitation of people in Palestine is the proper and with proper governance. So Israel is actually concerned of Hamas still coming into the power and using Palestine as the source of violence against Israel. So this has to be allayed from the fear of Israel. So a proper stakeholder government should come in for a proper future.
That is one solution. Okay. So any more points can you add?
There are the two-state solution which have been propounded by UN from time being is also the right state. But the current regime, at dismay, I don't feel like immediately that is a solution. Because
Trump said this Gaza Strip can be converted into a real estate place, right? What do you think about that?
So that is actually one of the options, but with widespread, the Arabian community has been coming up against the proposed guideline, and also Egypt and Jordan has been reluctant to take up the Palestinian people. So I think the practicality of the solution seems to be much lesser.
Okay. And last question.
Yes,
AI.
Yes, sir.
What do you think about that? How will it help? Yeah. What is so special about the recent new AI, that ChatGPT kind of AI? What is special about it?
Sir, the ChatGPT kind of AI can be said to be the large language models which can actually think and generate concept like human mind itself. So and the concept is that it can aid human productivity in a very high manner, and it can have widespread impact across fields from medicine to engineering sector to computation, education. So all field will have the same aspect. But sir, it should be handled up carefully because it is a double-edged sword that can have various impacts also. So the proper regulation as we...
What about India? Can India be a leader in generative AI?
Sir, definitely India can be a leader in generative AI because the AI adoption rate has been the highest in India with almost 70% adoption rate coming up in the global basis. And we have high set of talented engineers working in AI startups. So with this, we can be a leader in AI, but it requires proper a strategic lineup and funding into the aspect to come up and develop something like DeepSeek and ChatGPT. Sir.
So you think DeepSeek is the way to go for India?
So DeepSeek is a model that India can adopt because in 2 years from a similar economy like India, China could develop a DeepSeek kind of model. So this can be portrayed in India too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Fine,
Sir.
Okay. Vineeth,
Yes.
you're already a civil servant
Yes.
and you had been preparing for this kind of a ratcheting up of your stature.
Yes. Sir.
Okay, you wanted to get into the administrative service.
Yes.
Now, what was the value addition that you brought into your preparation for this attempt?
Sir, the major value addition was learning from mistakes, which I focused upon. Because once I went through the cycle, I could focus upon the points which could maximize our output, as well as the smart work kind of initiatives could be better focused upon. And I tried to do that focused hard work this time on the reaping areas.
Okay, what are you reading now?
Sir, currently I'm reading like articles, that international articles which are happening on the worldwide scenario, sir.
Okay, not any book.
Sir, as such book, I was reading *Sapiens*, which is an anthropological novel by anthropological work by Yuval Noah Harari. Sir.
That was published long time back.
Yes, sir. I got currently.
Which is his latest work?
Sorry, sir. I think I have to.
Related to AI.
It is also related to AI.
I will update myself, sir.
It's called Nexus.
Okay, sir. Thank you for
History of Communication.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now, my question is, when we casually mention the word democracy,
yes,
we also have in mind alternatives.
Yes.
Like, for example, if a government is not efficient enough,
yeah,
if a government is not effective, if a government is not popular enough, then there is a chance for you to uproot the government,
yeah,
and bring in another.
Yes.
But in India, there is a recent school of thought which believes that we are losing this alternative, what they call as the death of alternative in the state. Now, what will be the future of democracy if there is a death of this alternative?
Sir, I feel the death of alternative that happens is actually very much a concern that we have to look about, because democracy itself means that anyone is capable, with the popularity of the popular opinion, is able to come to the power to execute the decisions of people. But if this alternative is not working, means there is dominance of one particular faction coming back to power and executing those decisions. But sir, in terms of India, in my humble opinion, I feel there is no death of this aspect. Very recent, the Lok Sabha elections is a testimony to the same, because the government, which had an absolute majority in the last term, had shrunk its seats, and we are back into a coalition government, which states that popular will of people is working with a prudent election commission and independent judiciary in place.
But the post-election performance of the opposition is much below par. People have lost faith in the opposition, apparently, and people are wondering, what they will rely upon once elections are declared again.
Sir, it is a concerning fact that such kind of incidences happen. But sir, in a democracy, the main advantage is that opposition is not only the stakeholder. There are stakeholders like the active and free press and media who can point out the mistakes. There is an independent judicial mechanism which can act as the guarantor of constitution, who have always stepped up to the occasion. And there are various pressure groups who are involved to formalize the opinions. So I think with the involvement, even if the opposition is not performing up to the mark, there are various other mechanisms provided by democracies.
Okay, you mentioned the expression free press.
Yes, sir.
But right now, the press in India, the various kinds of media that we have access to,
Yes,
are all owned by people who have got other stakes.
Yes.
owned by capitalists, owned by ideologues, owned by people who have their own specific agenda. So how will we be informed according to you? See, if I read one item in Madhubhumi, say, for example, and the same item in Manorama, for example, I get a different point of view.
Yes, sir.
So information per se is not available in any of the media.
Yes, sir.
And social media, is a totally different genre altogether.
Yes, sir.
But how do you tackle the situation? How do we know the truth?
Yes. Sir, definitely info pollution is something that is happening in the recent times, as rightly noted, sir. And I feel the one initiative that we can bring about to counter this is the fact-checking units, which should be brought about to provide streamlined and transparent information. And from our aspect is to rely upon the source of the media. How the problem with social media is that the sources actually cannot be ascertained. But with the proper print and the digital media, we can go in for ourselves checking up the credibility of the source, how they are reporting, and verify ourselves the truth involved. So these are the two steps I feel to contain the pollution of information.
So do you think that we are being overfed with information?
So definitely, sir, the overfeeding of information, especially with the digital tech gaining such prominence, the info overload is also a major problem. I think the info literacy of people, or the digital literacy of people, is something we have to concentrate upon to make people aware of what to take and what to avoid.
Okay. So coming to digital literacy,
yes,
we have a generation of young people, below the age of 15.
Yes, sir.
Students who go to school with a lot of enthusiasm.
Yes.
And who can be called as digital natives because
Yes.
they know how to operate the gadgets very effectively.
Yes, sir.
And they are quite excited about education, but they are taught by teachers who are new to technology.
Yes, sir.
So we have a generation of students who are excited about tech and digital things like that.
Yes.
And a set of teachers who appear to the students as not qualified enough to teach them. Now, have you thought of such a scenario? And what would be the solution that you would suggest to upskill the teachers?
Sir, definitely there have been instances similarly when even while we were doing the COVID duty kind of initiatives, even our medical education too had the same problem, because sudden shift to digital media entails such kind of problems. Sir, in order to tackle that, I feel our education system must be not just educating the children, but it should be properly equipping our teachers too. So the proper, as our NEP also entails, that there should be proper skilling of teachers through various software programs like soft skill workshops and skill set programs. And there should be digital literacy campaigns for the teachers also regarding how to operate the digital devices and how to utilize for educational purposes.
Will AI kill conventional teaching?
Sir, I would like to believe AI would not kill conventional teaching. AI would open up new dimensions to conventional teachings, because when we were taught like the dynamics of any aspect, we're simply told the stone would move like a particular aspect. But AI enables to showcase this to the students in a pictorial manner, which would further better their skill set. So I think this enabling.
So how can a teacher overcome this occupational hazard?
Sorry, sir, I would
how
like
can
to.
A teacher overcome this occupational hazard of AI foraying into his or her domain?
Sir, I think adapting to the situation is the capability of humans, and teachers also have to go for the adaptation facilities to better maneuver the needs of time and use it for their benefit. The terminology of the survival of the fittest is where it comes into being. So I think this adaptability is the way forward.
Okay, good. Now, two last questions.
Yes.
Can you name one or two doctors who are also good writers? Publishing in English.
Yes. Sorry, sir, I'm unable to recollect any names currently.
There is a writer called Abraham Verghese.
Yes, sir. The
The
Indo-American.
Covenant of Water was the last one he published.
Yes, sir.
And then there is Atul Gawande.
Sorry, sir. I think I have to
You
read
have to
more
read
about
his
that.
book, Checklist Manifesto,
Sure, sir.
which is a wonderful short book to read.
Sure, sir.
And finally, who wrote an anthropologist on Mars?
Sorry, sir. I think I have to update myself.
It was written by a doctor called Oliver Sacks
Okay, sir.
on persons who have neurological disorders.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Fantastic book to read.
Sure, sir. I will update myself. Sir. Thank you for the information, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Dr. Vineeth, for the first time in the history of India,
Yes.
an economic survey
Yes.
has mentioned something about mental health
Yes.
and nation's economy.
Yes, sir.
Could you enlighten us about that?
Sure, sir. Sir, the current environment economic survey actually entailed upon few of the humanistic aspects or a human development indication, mainly based on the mental health as well as the lifestyle habits that are associated. So mental health, the psychological distress leads to deterioration of the working hours and also the quality of human life, along with the eating habits, like the modern lifestyle also entails upon huge cost on the physical health of the individual. This has been entailed upon by the economic survey, and it asks for prudent measures to be taken up on the same scale for proper utilization of the demographic dividends.
And it also quotes from a particular book, especially in relation to the use of internet in children and how it is impacting their mindset.
Yes.
You remember the name of the book which was mentioned?
Sorry, sir, I think I have to
Okay, forget about that book. The theme of what was mentioned is that this use of internet is rewiring the entire way in which children are being taught.
Yes.
And there was this recent law passed by Australia, which aimed at banning the use of social media in minors.
Yes.
Do you think it's a welcome strategy to be done in India also? And would you think it would work in India?
Sir, rules and regulations are actually catalyzed or suited for a particular population. So Australia going in might be requiring the national interest of Australia. But similar kind of perspective, I do not feel is applicable in India, especially with our Honorable Prime Minister speaking about regulation of social media last month, that it should be regulated rather than going out for outright ban. We should have proper social media literacy taught to children, how to utilize social media and not fall trap to the cyber crimes that are increasing in present. And we should also have a uniform regulation on a central level basis. We have the Digital Data Protection Act coming up. Along with that, we have to have social media ethics rules also specified for the social media context. So
is there any dearth of rules, laws, or regulations in India?
Sir, definitely there are adequate rules, but the problem with social media is that specialized rules are still absent, sir, because what currently regulates are the IT rules, digital media intermediaries of 21, which actually entails a common framework for social media, OTT platforms, all kind of similar equipped aspects. But there are not specific guidelines to social media intermediaries in terms of children and like under 18 people of our country. So I think this is something that can be worked about to provide them the framework.
Let me give you a hypothetical situation.
Sure, sir.
Two students, first year college students.
Yes.
A boy, 17 years and 10-month-old, and a
Yes.
girl, 18 years and 1-month-old. They
Yes,
are in a relationship.
Yes, sir.
This boy is sending a nude video of his to the girl.
Yes,
The
sir.
girl's father finds it out, finds it to be very offensive,
Yes, sir.
approaches the nearest police station.
Yes.
What are the legal aspects of this situation? What are the legal provisions by which anybody involved can be taken to task?
So can I think on for a moment?
Yeah, sure.
Sir, first of all, I would like to look upon the initiating factor, because if it has been based on a consensual manner,
It's a consensual. Both of them seem to have exchanged nude videos of each other. It is very much present in that digital device also.
sir, one major provision that comes up is the POXO Act into it, because the boy involved is actually a minor.
Sure.
So there can be actually a case filed against the female girl that is involved.
And any other act.
And
Mention the name of that act in your
yes, sir. And other prominent act is the IT Act, which comes into
section. Specifically deals with this particular issue of transmitting pornographic material.
I'm sorry, sir. I think
Section 67A, forget about it. So here again, in the economic survey, the phrase overwork has been used.
yes.
You remember how many hours have been mentioned as overwork per week?
Sorry, sir. I do not remember the exact.
It's 55 to 60 hours.
Yes.
My question is,
Yes.
very legendary figure from the Indian industry
Yes.
recently mentioned that I don't believe in work-life balance.
Yes.
And he urged Indians to work for more than 70 hours a week
Yes.
to enhance the productivity and economy of the nation.
Yes.
No comments about that.
Sir, the above said remarks by the Infosys founder was actually, in my personal opinion, I feel do not entail the human quality that is involved, sir. Definitely overworking can improve the economy and the monetary gains, but I feel qualified human life is something that is more important than just merely monetary gains. A family life with just full of bank account without proper family relations and proper human capital is something that is not worth living, in my humble opinion. So I feel, along, just as economic survey had mentioned, work-life balance is a right step forward with increasing mental illness and psychological issues in the way forwards.
Actually, just to intervene, he also said that there is no need for all India services. We can take graduates from the IAM. So what is your take on that?
Sir, I feel All India services as something that requires people from diverse category, because All India service cater up to our Indian population who are diverse in nature itself. So this diversity requires diversity in the service also to cater to the needs of population. Just as we know, during the COVID pandemic, we required doctors in the service to better address the situation. Similarly, if there is something finance required or any judicial aspects, so all the fields require specifics which can be better utilized in the current selection manner, sir.
Okay, you mentioned somewhere that you are an allopathic doctor, are you?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. Who coined the term allopathy?
I'm sorry, sir. I'm currently unable to recollect it.
Forget about that. Again, the government of India is currently pursuing something called integrated medicine.
Yes.
In which the different systems of medicine will be available under one roof.
Yes.
Different specialists will be sitting in the same hospital, probably in the same room,
yes,
if not adjacent rooms. And within inverted commas, allopathic doctors, the Association of Allopathic Doctors is against this.
yes,
They're criticizing that it is leading to a situation where each system is going to be diluted and finally it will end up as disastrous to the
yes,
health-seeking public.
Yes.
What is your take on this issue?
Sir, India promoting the integrated medicine is actually a very welcome measure, in my opinion, because I think it is a part of our cultural heritage to portray to the world, and which can aid our medical tourism sector also. But sir, as noted, the allies of the allopathic sector mixing up with the other sector comes in because proper integration is not put into being, because there are concepts like the bridge courses that are coming up, the crosspadi that is being said about. So this is creating the tensions, and I think I am also against this concept of mixopathy that is being brought about. I feel integrated medicine is different from mixopathy. Integrated medicine means we have an allopathic doctor. If we have a orthopedic situation, in that immediate care, pain relief can be given up by the allopathic doctor. And for the long-term sustainability, the Ayush doctor can suggest him the medication. So this integration is what I feel is the best way forward rather than going for mixoperies.
Could you explain the difference between integrative medicine, interdisciplinary medicine, and holistic medicine?
Sure, sir. Can I take a moment?
Sure. Take your time.
Sir, integrative medicine, as we had noted earlier, it is actually entailing the concepts of all the available fields within the system, like allopathic Ayush systems together. Sir, interdisciplinary medicine, if I can note about, as regarding entailing the same, within a same branch, entailing all the sub-branches together for a holistic treatment. And holistic medicine, I feel, is for exactly cutting. I think I'll have to guess about, sir.
I'll explain it during the review. And my final question is, Donald Trump is sending back Indians in chains.
Yes.
And there is a lot of criticism that the government of India is not voicing any opinion and protest against that.
Yes.
It's an inhuman act to chain them in military aircraft. Do you think the way in which the government of India has handled the situation is appropriate, or is the government of India afraid of the US president? That will be my final question.
Sir, I would humbly like to differ from the opinion that India is feared of the American president. Rather than that, it is actually the bilateral relations that has been held up over here. We are respecting the rule of law of the US land through the same procedure. If you look up from the perspective of USA, all the involved persons are illegal migrants who are a threat to the national security and national interest of USA. So they have a unified system which caters that the rule of law specifies the deportation must be in this manner. So we are actually respecting the law of land, which if the case was the opposite aspect also, we would like America to respect the rule of law of India. This is what we have upheld here in the situation, rather than being.
Has it translated into anything positive, this attitude of the Indian government?
Sir, definitely it has translated positive with the initiative, the bold Indian foreign policy that has been happening now. The very example of India being avoided from the sanctions for getting S-400 missiles is the best testimony to the fact. Similarly, for purchase of Russian oil is also a testimony, sir.
Amrita IAS Academy.